Matthew Arnold, considered as the first modern critic for his systematic approach to analyzing and evaluating literature. His emphasis on the social and cultural role of criticism and critical thought. He had a more systematic and informed approach to criticism to promote intellectual and moral progress. He laid down certain principles for judging literary works, and his works were so influential that he was considered a critic's critic. Then, his methods and approach helped to establish later critics like T.S. Eliot, Max Weber, F.R. Lewis, and Raymond Williams. Matthew Arnold is considered the founder of the sociological school of criticism. Sociological school of criticism in the Victorian age viewed literature as a reflection of society. Arnold believed that criticism creating a current of true and fresh ideas and should be understood within its social and cultural context. So he emphasized literature's role in promoting social progress and cultural values. Functions of criticism at the present time. Arnold's essay, The Functions of Criticism at the Present Time, was published in his first collection of critical writings, Essays in Criticism. Here he deals with his interpretation of criticism and critic. Then he explains the task of a critic in threefold way. A critic must learn all the existing knowledge. He must spread the knowledge, then to create conclusive environment of writing. According to Arnold, the creator of a text is greater than its critic. Creative activity is the true function of a man. Then he explains about his critical view on literature produced during the Victorian age. Here he cites the example of various works of literature to promote the writer's own political opinion. For example, the Whigs' ideas represented in the Edinburgh Review, while the Tories in Quarterly Review. Here point out some key points by Arnold. First one, disinterestedness, which means quality of impartiality and objectivity or free from personal or historical prejudices. Second one, freshness of ideas, current of fresh and true ideas. Criticism should be establishing new and insightful perspectives. Third one, creative power. Criticism acknowledges the importance of creative power. Creative power needs the guidance of critical power. So, what is critical power? It is an ability to understand or analyze or evaluate a work. Then, the best that is known and thought, connected to his vision for culture and criticism. Touchstone method, a comparative method of criticism. The term coined by Matthew Arnold in his essay, The Study of Poetry, and this term used to evaluate a poetry. The critic select a passage from established literary classics like Homer, Dante, Shakespeare, and Milton, etc., and to assess its quality, uses them as touchstone. For example, he gives Hamlet's dying words to Horatio. Poetry as a criticism of life. According to Arnold, poetry should offer meaningful commentary on human existence. It is not merely a form of entertainment, but as a tool for understanding human experience. Poetry is the criticism of life governed by the laws of poetic truth and poetic beauty. Great poetry exposes life, offers wisdom and understanding about human nature, emotions, etc. So Arnold praises poets like Homer and Shakespeare for their deep understandings of life. Then, what is poetic truth? Which means accurate portrayal of life's experiences and emotion. Poetry must possess high seriousness. So, what is high seriousness? Which combines deep truth with artistic beauty. Then, poetic beauty. Poetry blends serious ideas with graceful expression. Arnold uses here Milton's poetry as an example. Literature and culture according to Arnold. Arnold's ideas of culture representing the harmonious combination of beauty and intelligence. Here Arnold divides English society into three classes in his Culture and Anarchy. First one, barbarians, aristocratic class, Philistines, middle class, then populace, working class. Thus, Arnold believes that culture, a pursuit of perfection and sweetness and light, can help bridge the gap between these choices or these classes. In his critical essay, The Study of Poetry, Arnold points out poetry as superior to philosophy, religion, and history. Here he criticizes the art of poetry and art of criticism, and he commends poetry as a criticism of life. According to Arnold, reading poetry in three ways. First one, real estimate, unbiased viewpoint, historic estimate, historical context, personal estimate, depends on the personal tastes. Historical estimate affects the study of ancient poets. Personal estimate affects the study of modern or contemporary poets. In this essay, he proposes touchstone method of analyzing poetry we already discussed. Then about French poetry, English classics, he speaks about Chaucer, Milton, Shakespeare, 18th century illustration poet Dryden and Pope, Gray, his high poetic value, and Arnold considered him as classic. The next one, Robert Burns, Arnold considered him as better poet in Scottish than English and compares Burns to Chaucer. Then romantic poets Byron, Shelley, Wordsworth, their writings are more personal. Poetry offers a more profound and lasting criticism of life. This poetry is superior to philosophy, history, and religion and can provide a sense of solace, moral guidance through the lens of beauty and truth. Philosophy, grappling with unsolved questions, religious belief were seen as weakening, but he believed poetry's capacity to connect with human emotions. So Arnold considered poetry as superior to philosophy, religion, and history.